Hold on. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. All right, there we go.
Flip man, it's the flip man. Flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.
And we are live for show number 128. It's Ty, aka the Flip Man, along with Renikia, and Adria will be here shortly. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. How's it going, Renikia?
It's a good day, beautiful day in Atlanta. How about yourself?
Beautiful day in the ham, blue skies. I was
Mm, okay.
told by this chick
Ham. I like that.
oh yeah, we the original ham. Before they started
I
saying
see.
going ham, we've been saying ham.
Woo!
I was actually
Catch up.
confused about it. But yeah, blue skies here. And so we'll get into the comments here, see what's going on. People that have showed up early. Instagram, we live there. What's going on? So we got Memphis from DeAndre Tunnel, Dream Space in New York City, NYC, Ohio in the house, Tyrone Liggins, Real Property Investors in Tuscaloosa, DW Corbin in Florida. And so do we have, I want to know. Okay. We'll go ahead and start with this first question here from Isaiah Toussaint. I think I'm saying that correctly. Hi, Callie here. I want to know if $18 is too much for a skip trace in one property. Woo. That's a good question, ain't it?
That is a good question. Oh wow. That's a good question. I mean, it to me is relative. It's relative. If it takes $100 to find someone and I can make $10,000, it's worth it. But it's relative to what you can afford. But you want to look at it as, I mean, of course, there's skip tracing services out there where you can pay $50, $60, $70 a month, and you can skip trace a limited amount of people. So this it's just relative. But honestly, the amount of money that could potentially be made, maybe not. But if you're looking for a service where you could really maximize your money and get unlimited amount of skip tracing leads, then that may be too much for just one. If you look and just purchase one. So
Yeah, you want to know the reputation of that outfit. Come on in. The reputation of that outfit, and um and if at $18, that information needs to be accurate.
I
You get
better
what I'm saying?
that better bet come with a
Yeah.
FaceTime.
So unplug that from the TV.
But $18 for one, yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be have a really good reputation of finding numbers for 18, because normally these cost 15 cents to 25 cents. You know what I'm saying? And normally most of them are, it's good enough for that price. You know what I'm saying? So at $18, I need to be able to get their name. I need their cell phone, home phone, right email address, their husband or wife, or mama, dad, brother, and sister. It need to be encompassing all of that or whatever. So I guess yes, hey, I guess yes. It'll be worth it. It'll be an $18 seminar. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna figure out, is this service gonna be worth it or not. All right. So all right. Ooh, we jumped up here on the questions. Let me see here. Okay, this like I said, they all good. This person says, what if I can't find comps less than a year?
Hmm. I mean, you just got to me, you got to go out to what you can find, but that could say a couple things. That can either say you in the area where no one is really selling. So people who purchase in this area, they really hold on to it for a long time. Or it could say it's a rural area and it just is not enough activity going on. So you have to just be mindful of those things, especially if your exit strategy is to sell and you can't find any sell comps. So that could be a problem when it comes to selling, because that data could tell you that it's not enough activity going on as well.
Yeah, that's a huge red flag. There's no activity. That means it's probably not going to be any buyers either. So like you said, if it's a buy and hold approach, you normally can find renters even in rural areas, quicker than you can find someone to buy a property. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just don't always have that unbalance of a dynamic. You're going to probably have more renters in certain areas than actual buyers of property. So, but as a wholesale deal, that's a huge red flag that, I don't know if I can get it cheap enough or whatever. So, it's really no just one answer for that. But no activity. It may be difficult. It may be difficult. So, I think Adrian ready to rock.
I am.
Hey, Adrian.
Hi. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Welcome. Okay, so let's keep
want
going.
iPad or that's good?
That's fine.
Okay.
So Jeffrey Harden. Hopefully, I'm not duplicating anything that you've already asked. As a beginner in wholesaling, is it best to just start wholesaling single family houses, or can you start with multifamily units?
That's a really good question. I'll let Todd piggyback on this. I look at it as I want to put myself in the pond with the majority fish, because if I get in the pond and there's thousands of fish, most likely I'm gonna catch something. But if I put myself in a pond, it's like 10 of them. They may, it makes it a little bit more difficult. So both of them are easy to sell. You just got to. It's relative to your pond. It's relative to your buyers. If you have more buyers for single family, you have a better and greater chance to wholesale a single family. So I always look at it from that perspective. Focus on your buyers. If you have more buyers in single family versus multifamily, put a little bit more emphasis in that, because most likely you'll close a lot sooner and faster because you just have more buyers that's looking at your property.
Okay, Ty, any inputs on single family or multifamily?
Oh, well, yeah. To piggyback off what she's saying, there's going to be more opportunities with houses, just more of them in most markets. And so there's going to be more opportunities. But what comes along with that is more competition for sure. So it's a trade-off. Whereas with multifamily, less competition, bigger paydays, but it's not going to be as many to target. The other side of that, sometimes those owners are a little bit more difficult to reach in some cases. But on the flip side of that, with multifamily, your buyers open up, potential buyers may be the entire country, depending on where you are, the type of property and so on. So it's just a trade. It's just it just depends on what you want to do, and nothing to prevent you from doing both. Now I can just tell you, just numbers. If you need a quick payday, houses are going to be your option. Houses are good. You can do both of them fast, but you can do houses. It can be a normal thing with houses quickly, because a lot of times the bigger the more expensive of a multifamily property, the more due diligence has to go into it, or the larger the property is, or whatever. With the house, it can be $1 million. You can get it for $500,000. You still wholesale it in 10 days. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter or whatever about that. So it just depends on, I know I'm just how bad you need money, how fast you need it or whatever. So, but that prevents you from doing both.
Right. And honestly, it go hand in hand. So yeah, it goes hand in hand. So yeah.
All right. So the next question is gonna be taken from Instagram, and it's from Johnny Mack. One of my leads turned out to be motivated to sell 2 properties. Should I put them on separate purchase agreements?
Oh, yeah.
So your buyer has 2 properties for sale. Now you can put them on this. I mean, I remember I created a purchase and sales agreement for multiple properties, or whatever the case may be. But you can put 2 on the same purchase and sales agreement if that space is available. If not, then you need 2 separate agreements. But most importantly, you most likely going to have to let you pay in cash, or you find an end buyer to pay cash. Most likely, there's going to be 2 different sales because it's 2 different parcels. So most likely, you're going to sell them individually anyway. So it's really preference. You can put it on the same purchase agreement if your purchase agreement allows. If not, put it on 2 different purchase and sales agreement. And most likely, you may end up selling both of those properties separately.
On that small of you definitely do that, and like I said, you can edit an agreement where both will fit. But on that small of a number of units, well, it don't matter. It could be more than that, but for that small of a number of units, I would probably do 2, because it doesn't guarantee that you're going to have this 1 buyer for both unit properties. They may be on opposite sides end of the towns, where one of them is in a quote unquote D area in Dog, and the other one is in a B area. A lot of times you don't have buyers that do both. So, you just, because even if you had 1 buyer, they still can use both contracts and close on both of them. So I would, in that case, I would just probably go with 2 contracts, just because you may not have the same buyer for both. So.
All right. Sticking with Instagram, someone wanted to know, when the mortgage is more than the value of the house, what's the best way to go?
Foreclosure. That means the value is upside down. So the mortgage is more than the value. That means that the property is upside down. And in a case like that, the lender is not going to sell a lower mortgage payoff. So in a case like that, it's just upside down. So there's a couple ways you can do this. The actual seller will have to pay the difference if you want to buy it lesser than what the mortgage is. Or if the seller say, hey, I'm not paying, more than what the property is worth. So at that point in time, you just want to go into, doing a short sale. So the seller would want to do a short sale because that seller do not want to have to pay more than what the property is worth. Therefore, the seller needs to give the property back to the lender and say, hey, I have a buyer that wants to purchase this, but they want to purchase at a lower amount. So they're going to have to go through a short sale so you can purchase it at a lower amount.
Okay, J Cash 2519 wants to know, let's see here, where this is jumping. You need that 1-page contract that you can fill out online on your computer. So that is available to each and every one of you on dealulator.com. Again, that's dealulator.com, and that's where you can find that 1-page contract where you can plug and chug the information that you need. You can either email it, you can download it and print it out if need be, but it is there and available for you to use. And hey, it's free. It's there. Okay, so the next question is, or statement rather, from Jonathan Roebuck. You have a great show. You are one of my favorite real estate educators. I am currently homeless and I want to invest in the property and rent it to myself. Any info on how to do that? Thank you. So I know hopefully, Jonathan, when you say homeless, you mean like you're just not a homeowner, possibly living with a loved one. So if not, wishing you the best of luck. But sounds like, I don't know, how do you invest in a property and rent it to yourself? Is that possible?
I think he's trying to say, can he find a property for himself through real estate investing, basically.
Oh,
I think that's what he means. Yeah. You can, I watched the video earlier today. I saw the title and was interested, and I just kicked myself on a lot of stuff. But you will have more opportunities. More opportunities will come your way where a seller will owner finance you a property than they'll give you a price that's a wholesale price. So to answer his question, you will have opportunities to pick up a property and probably with nothing down. Matter of fact, a real estate agent just called me, right? Believe it or not, an agent called the Flip Man. And,
I believe it.
And so he and I, we on the same page though, whatever. He focuses on short sales. And how I ran up onto him, I was just laying in bed one morning and just started searching short sales on Zillow, right? And so I called him, so we met and, whatever. So, but anyway, he has an opportunity where he didn't really want to do anything with the property, but it's like a 3-2 garden home, and it's built after 2010. He wasn't sure about the date on it. And they've already negotiated a modification on the mortgage. And all we have to do, instead of paying the $8,000 reinstatement fee to, catch up all the back payments plus the what am I trying to say? Plus the fees associated with it. All we have to do is just pay one payment, which is about $1,260, right? And it's in the area you probably can rent for $1,500 or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, I'm all in on that. I'm just going to pay him something, which is cool or whatever. And so, yeah, I said, I'll go. She's already moved out. So I'm going to go out there tomorrow and take a look at it. The reason I'm saying this is, assuming this was the guy that we're just talking about and that opportunity came his way, if he may, like I say, he may not be actually homeless, meaning, don't have a shelter, but you may be living with family. You just don't actually only have your own or whatever situation, but you have $1,260. So now you just basically, you didn't buy the house, but you got in the house with only $1,260 or whatever. And ownership is turned over to you in some, form, whether it's the lease purchase or some type of wraparound mortgage or whatever. I'm talking Greek here. Google is your friend. So yeah, that's very possible. Those opportunities will come more frequent than somebody giving you a price that works for you, if you're wanting to go into that part of it, at least make the offer.
Makes sense. Good luck with that. El Haj Malik, hey, and you do miss me. Don't start. We're not even gonna do that today. Let's see here. Jason Pullen says, I'm new to wholesaling, but my aunt had a home she wants to sell, but I would like to wholesale it. I need help as to how I should go about presenting and getting the ARV before she gets a realtor.
Be careful with that family now, but you want to go, Renee, go ahead.
Oh, wow. So I would say one of the ways to get an ARV, and a lot of people don't like really to use Zillow, but there's ways to filter through Zillow. So you put your property value, your property address in Zillow, and then you go to their filter chart and you filter nothing but the homes that sold. And then you just, you look at the chart and you begin to evaluate all the homes that is very close to your home that sold within the last 2 to 3 months, no more than maybe 6 months max. And then you just take the averages of those, and that'll kind of help you. Get some type of roundabout number of what that property could sell for based on what those properties sold for. Make sure they're comparable to your property as well. A new construction is not comparable to a property that's just been rehabbed. So just make sure it's properties that looks like your property, very similar in square footage and beds and bath. Another way is you hire a realtor, or not hire a realtor. You contact a realtor. You tell them that, hey, you want to sell this property, but now you just need some comps, and most likely a realtor will provide those comps if they feel that they will get that sale from you as well. And I know there's a couple other ways sometimes.
Yeah, he's just trying to figure out ARV, right?
Ultimately, and what to do with his aunt's house to wholesale it before she decides to let a realtor handle it instead.
Well, yeah, like Radhika said, you can just use Zillow to come up with those numbers, and you're just looking for consistency at its highest point. And like I said, you want to throw out probably new construction on that, but everything else should be in play, because Zillow will automatically filter based on distance, which you can put in the length of time as far as recently sold property. Like she said, 6 months is ideal. Sometimes you might have to go far depending on how much activity is going on in a particular area. And then it should automatically default to similar square footage, and similar square footage, most appraisers can go, from my understanding, up or down 25% or whatever, and then adjust according to per square footage, sold per square footage, I think is how they say it. So, but that's the one thing. But now dealing with your aunt, you have to be sure she's comfortable with you making money on the property, right? Because the worst thing you want to say is, what's his name? What name was?
That reunion is not gonna be good.
The worst thing that can happen, Jason, is you sell a house, and Aunt Janice finds out you done made $27,000 on a house.
Yeah.
Just count it.
No potato salad.
Trust me, it will be the talk of the family reunion.
Oh yeah, just turn in your family reunion card. Don't even send your donation.
I can't believe what my nephew just did. Can't believe what nephew just did.
Oh yeah. So just be careful with that. Make sure she's comfortable with it or whatever. So
and one of the ways you can present that is all about how you present it. You ask her what she wants for it.
Yeah.
Hey, you want this? If I bring anything above that, do you mind if I take that for myself?
That's clear as a bell.
Set the narrative.
That's clear as a bell.
You may say no, you may say yes, but set the narrative. She probably think you're only gonna make 2,000 or 3,000, but you come back to that 20.
I shall make good cakes and pies.
You may want to double close it.
Yeah, you got your last one. Okay, so next question. When you get your list from the county, what do you do to get the phone numbers on them to save time skip tracing each one?
Well, I just did this. Let me see. Well, I ain't ready. I just did this video on, I'm gonna tell you, well, you want to skip trace. He's saying, where do you skip trace, or what do you do with the list?
I think it says to avoid skip tracing each one. Is there a way to obtain a list with that information already on there? Let's see. Let's put that question back up.
Well, technically,
you gotta do
it from the county. What do you do to get the phone numbers on them to save time skip tracing each one?
You have to skip trace.
You have to skip that. The county's not going to.
We need an easy way.
The county's not going to do it. So, hey, tell me. I don't know.
You gotta find them. Yeah. You gotta skip trace each one. But maybe he's thinking. Maybe I don't know if your the software that you have. Can he upload the full list into the software and it spits out?
Yes, that's what I'm about to. This video that I did last week. Once you build. Wait a minute, I'm in here somewhere. Once you build the list, right, and you save it, you can go automatically into the skip tracing portion of the service and skip trace the list. So all of this is done within minutes. So to answer your question, but if you're talking about once you download a list or create a list and saying, no, you have to take an extra step. You don't have to use this service. I'm just telling you, you're just talking about click, click, click. You're gonna have to pay for the skip trace. We're only talking about 25 cents per hit or whatever. Now I can get prices depending on how many you skip trace. So if you skip traced, I don't know, what is that? 1,000, just to use even numbers, then assuming that all of them hit, which they're not, that's $250, the most that you would pay. Normally it's going to probably do about 70 to 80% of that. So you can do the math on that. So hopefully we answered your question, but that's the title of the video that I released last week. Top 10 ways to use the best real estate tool, in my opinion, to close more deals. So they need to have it, in my opinion, there, don't it?
No, that's what your opinion.
Hey, you name it, it's the best.
Hey, that's in there.
Okay, so the Doc 1234 wanted you to know, Flip, that he or she has started doing Airbnb. So maybe you'll have a good story to share with us sooner or later.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's see here. Next question is, I've lost it, but
I would like to ask that person, did you do it by acquiring the property or did you do it by leasing the property?
What, on the Airbnb?
The Airbnb person.
Yeah, that's what I intended when I'm talking about. I had to need to check to see how much activity is going on in that area, but that's what I intend to do with that one we were just talking about with the modification.
All right, the Doc 1234. If you could answer that question, how did you acquire the property that you're using for Airbnb? So Light Upon Lights wants to know, when you send the seller the contract and the buyer the same contract, do you take both contracts to the closing agent? And what would you tell them when you bring them the two contracts? So we got the seller contract, we got the buyer contract. I'm going to the closing agent. I don't just say, and
he may mean this, but get out of your mind that you're going to walk into somebody's office.
All right, you're going to shoot that email.
People. Again, assuming that's what he means. It cuts out a lot of the frustration that you come into when you walking in there. You don't never know who you finna receive. Call them, ask them who handled. Well, number one, depending on if you're using your people or if it's the buyer's people, call and ask who handles setting up closings. Right. Okay, assuming the title, I guess they'll go through that too, and that's the person's contact information you need as far as an email address. You shoot them over both contracts along. You don't have to do this, but this is what I do, and I give it away. The free closing doc that I offer, and what that documentation does, it explains who's the seller, who's the buyer, which is your cash buyer, the price, which is the price of the contract with you and the seller, assignment fee paid to, cash buyer LLC or whatever, X amount, in parentheses, if they've given you an earnest money, probably say $500 or $1,000 has already been paid by cash buyer. In detail, cash buyer is paying all closing costs minus any unpaid taxes, mortgages, or liens, or if you agreed to pay $200 toward it and cash buyer, so whatever that is. And then contact me for any more questions.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So
and then attorney start contacting.
Answered your question there, and I'm with Light Upon Light. Okay, she says, or he, I love the show and everyone who is watching, but can we get likes up? I mean, really, over 200 people watching, only 14 likes. Come on, man. That like button. Heart it.
Light Upon Light. Light that talk.
Light says. Doreen Brayboy, which is from Facebook, says, what is your suggestion on getting a home that was left to 5 family members but has now gone into pre-foreclosure, but no one is in agreement on selling the property? No deal. Done. It goes to foreclosure, right?
Yeah. Honestly, if they don't agree, they can, there's no sale. They must agree. They must agree to sell. So I mean, you know, at the end of the day, they're gonna lose out more than anyone. You know, someone left your property you inherit, and you're not gonna take care of it or make sure or get on the same page so everyone can either sell and make some money or keep it. But you know, it's nothing you can do. Everybody has to get on the same page.
Yeah, and we're gonna reach back out to them. Hopefully, they've changed a little bit. I think I mentioned this either last week or the week before. You know, this husband and wife. The wife wants to sell it for more. The husband ready to let it go for what they owe on it. She wants to sell it for more, but you know they scheduled for foreclosure. I think February 11th or 10th or 11th. You know, she'd rather not get anything. I mean, well, keep a foreclosure off her credit, or her not get anything. So we're gonna hit her back tomorrow. We're gonna try to offer, you know, some a little bread, you know, just to let us, you know, go in and hopefully do some, you know, depending on how much that reinstatement fee is on the property, because it's a decent house or whatever. From the pictures, I hadn't seen the inside. I may be changing my mind once I go look at it, but she rather just let it go in. My point is, she rather just go in the foreclosure just. Oh, she not getting the price she want. No. Now you have to think beyond that. That just because it'll get to a point where you can't do anything or whatever. You know. So anyway,
in the words of the great Jay-Z, everybody lose when the family feud. So, and that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what you could try to do, just angle it out. Try to give the contact information to all 5 people, and try to put everybody in the corner, and then try to get everyone to agree individually, you know, and see if you can create it and make it happen, you know.
And the reason I have this picture up, I know you people on Instagram can't see it, on the podcast you may not be able to see it, but I interviewed this couple last, I think it was Sunday, and the video went up yesterday. And they had a very interesting story. They moved from from New York City down to Chattanooga, Tennessee, to start wholesaling or whatever. And I ain't suggest nobody else do that, but they have a very interesting story. And they were, hey, it
worked out for them.
Takes a certain type of gator. Takes a certain type of gator to pack up.
Straight gator, though. You know what I'm saying?
That's straight gator.
Oh my God, yes.
You got that team and that accountability partner.
Oh yeah. So but yeah, people definitely go check that out. Just go do how do they make it 41,000 and Flippinar. I think I'll try to put a link here in the chat or whatever. So check that video out.
All right. While we're talking about good things, Vito Live from Instagram wants you to know, Flipman, I just got my first contract because of you. So way to go, Vito Live. Hopefully that turns out into some good money.
Yeah, let's hear the follow up on that.
Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna say this, and I don't mean any harm with this, because we just had the question where we're talking about the mortgage being more than the ARV on a property. And we mentioned that it's numbers. Like, if the numbers don't make sense, they just don't make sense. Let's not overcomplicate it. So Janelle Wiltshire says, I have a house and I'm trying to put on a contract. The ARV is about 60 to 70,000, but he wants 118. And there's no need for repairs because fix the house to flip it. So now you have an owner who's put some work, maybe extensive, and they think, hey, well, I want my money back. But the ARV for the area is still on the 60 to 70. So is this one of those things the numbers just don't add up? You put that work into it, but it still don't make your house any more valuable. Not really.
No, I mean, and honestly, the only person that can buy a property like that, I mean, although he put a lot of work into it, great. But the only person that can buy a property like that would be a cash buyer. Because a person who would get a loan on that, a lender would never lend more than what the property is worth. Never. And the lender won't even give you 100% of what it's worth. So at that point, you know, it just wouldn't make sense. It would probably only make sense to a buy and hold cash buyer, and you know, and that's kind of slim because he won't double the price. Okay,
so sticking with talking about numbers, Adam has a condemned house where the owner wants about 20K, it needs about 100,000. Woohoo! Oh, that's a do-over in repairs. And the ARV is 160. So if it truly needed 100,000 in repairs, you're sitting at 120. Maybe not a wholesale deal, but something.
What's the I guess we get the calculator out. What is 70% of 160?
Oh yeah, my bad. I ain't on my hustle.
We waiting.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
Let's see if there's a deal. We got the deal calculator.
Yeah, joking boy.
Slipping.
Okay, here we go. I got it. I'm getting to it.
Okay, and guys, and the calculator we're talking about is the calculator that is also the same place where you found that one-page contract that you can plug and chug numbers, dealulator.com, aka PropStream, but you're not going to get the contract nor this calculator on PropStream page. So dealulator.com.
It's free.
It's free. Okay. So
ARV
160. 160.
Uh-huh.
Repairs 100,000. 100.
Ooh.
20. Purchase 20.
Ooh. He said what now? And
purchase price 20.
Oh, he said you can get it for 20?
Yeah.
20.
Oh, close. You're close.
Yeah.
Oh well, it's saying 12,000, but I would roll with that.
You would roll with 20.
It's saying the purchase would be 12.
Yeah, it's saying 12, but I would roll with that.
And how you gonna make money?
So we'll fit that, dude. Hey, you'll have oh my, you ain't telling me the thing was still up. We would I think you would find a cash buyer because I'm saying it's 100. You'll find a cash buyer that might say it's 70. I think.
Okay.
You know, so it would be worth putting on the contract. Okay. You know, you're gonna have your diligence period, but at 20, worth 160, I think it'll be worth putting on the contract at 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the calculator said he need to get it for 12.
For 12, yeah. Well, really less, but yeah.
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 Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a deal, but you want to lowball him, but just a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that.
How much is he making? 10,000? So that's for him to make 10,000.
Yeah.
So he can sell it at 22.
Is that fire damage or something?
To have that much repairs?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then he did mention that the owner said it needed about 100,000 repairs.
Yeah.
So maybe get someone else in there can do it a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
That deal calculator he just used, Patrick, was dealulator.com. Go to dealulator.com, and that calculator that allows you to see, is it a deal? It's right there on your screen. Visit that website. Let's see here. So Carlita says she came across a property with a federal tax lien. Have you ever come across that type of situation? And if so, how do you handle it? So what's the difference between, I guess, a county tax lien and the Fed?
Well, sounds like one of them is a property tax lien. Don't confuse a property tax lien to a income tax lien. I mean, for IRS lien, basically.
Gotcha. But you would handle it ultimately the same.
It's a debt. It has to be paid off. You know. Now they'll probably negotiate something less. They do that. You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay.
And property taxes supersedes all taxes.
Yeah.
All of them. Okay. Okay, so this subscriber or viewer wants to know, what do you say to a potential seller who wants to research your business when you don't have one?
What?
I always talking about Google is your friend. Well, I don't on Google because I come up with Adria.
So how they gonna research a business? So are you putting a business out there on your paperwork that is not active?
Yeah, because why didn't you just?
How do they know what business to search if you don't have one?
Well, okay, so let's do this. I think a lot of people. So I would, again, jokes aside, I would go in and say, "Hey, I'm Adria of Adria Real Estate Investors. and we're interested in purchasing your property. Okay. Adrian Real Estate Investors, that's the name of your company? Yeah, it is. Okay, let me look you up. Kind of just get that off the top of my dome, but yeah.
I don't have a website. Well, we currently don't have a website. It's a personal investment. I mean, people have personal investment businesses where they don't have to market their business. This is my personal investment portfolio where I go and purchase properties in my LLC that I'm not trying to sell. And so at the end of the day, you can have a personal LLC that you're not marketing and have a website for. You just tell them you don't have a website at the time.
Yeah, like this guy, I don't even know if he's still alive, and this guy probably had 300, I think it was 450 properties, all of them in his name.
People, and that happens all the time.
You know what I'm saying? All of them in his name.
Yeah.
Multi-millionaire.
Does it really matter?
Hey, you just tell them, hey, this.
Because at the end of the day, you close it in your personal name.
Well, your personal, but people get caught up with, ooh, I want to make a logo. Ooh, I want to have a website. Ooh,
I'm gonna say this here. You can go to irs.gov and create get your EIN number, and you can utilize that until you turn it into an LLC.
Yeah.
And it's free. Get your EIN number is free. And you can still close a property using that EIN number. And when you make some money, you turn it into an LLC.
Okay.
Man, just tell them jokers, hey, normally most people are not going to ask.
Hey, get Gator.
Don't say you started off with
that's when you.
They say. So, what was the question? So I can.
The question was, what do you say to a potential seller who wants to research your business when you don't have one? Oh, here we go.
You already got a deal. I can already say.
You ain't got to do they asking all that, right?
We have exceptions to the rule sometimes because the deal we closed Monday. She, but she found me on the internet, so that don't even count.
It don't count.
She found me on the internet, so that don't count. Okay, so that don't count. I can't even use that. All right, but the way you handle that is, I think somebody just asked me that. A student asked me. I said, you just let them know, hey, this is my investment or my retirement business. This is how I'm going to set myself up for retirement. Okay. I don't have a business. I probably need to get one, laugh it off or whatever. I just buy real estate. What else can they say?
Exactly.
Real estate is the way of the future.
Are you interested in selling your property to me? Cash.
Exactly.
Either I got it or I don't.
Exactly.
Well, don't say that last part. Okay. But yeah.
Go ahead. Finish the rap. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I think we answered your questions, the Elrin Jones. Okay, so next up, we have quite a few questions about ultimately heir property, someone passing and leaving people leaving the state for someone else. So Clay Furious wants to know what happens with the home if the owner passes away and they have no relatives. Like, really, they ain't got nobody? And he wants to know, how can I get that property? There's always somebody.
Sometimes
it could be. But you just gotta go through probate. Yeah. Because most likely they don't have their estates and wills together either. In a case like that, so most likely the property is probably just gonna go through probate. You're gonna get with the you get with your county, get with the probate agency of your county, and just go through probate to purchase it.
All right, there you have it. Denise Favors, we love you too. She's on Facebook and she said, I just love y'all. I hope slang, just like I said, I just love y'all. Well, we love you too, and thank you for joining us because we're here on Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm sorry, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central. DJ Trizzy the GOAT on Instagram wants to know, why is the podcast on Apple working? Maybe he meant not working. You checked it on Apple?
Oh, let me find it.
Okay, so DJ Trizzy, thank you. We'll take a look at that. And sticking with Instagram, Black Al Bundy number 23 wants to know, can you wholesale a property from a realtor? So from a realtor, with a realtor, all of that, can it be done?
Yes, you can. You can. You can. It's a little bit more that goes into it when you're dealing with a realtor, depending on the end buyer. Most likely just gonna have to double close it. Let's put it like that.
All right. So
Yeah.
T5YLL4 has a question, and I know probably not recently, but in the past we've talked about how gator are you really going to be, like gator. So he mentioned, first of all, he says he appreciate the value you continuously bring us. I can't even talk right now. But what do you think of reaching out to divorce attorneys for leads? So you remember we talked before about going skimming. You have those that skim the obituaries and send their letters out to, recent deaths, because hey, that's one of the reasons why people will get rid of properties. Ty says it all the time. Do people die where you live? Do people get a divorce? Do they lose their job? Do life happen? So yeah, that's one of those things. So if you have the time to make that one of your ways you get your leads, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we're in the business for lead generation. I mean, to me, it's no one way. I mean, you got to have a lead generation marketing campaign, and making sure that you're generating leads through multiple avenues. And if that avenue works for you, you continue to work it.
Okay, there you have it. Let's see here. So Roman B. Johnson, I'm gonna read your question and just generalize it for everyone. The question is, who are some buyers of fire damaged properties in Birmingham? But let's forget about Birmingham. How would you go about finding buyers that like fire damaged properties, that like the whole gut it from the ground up, type properties?
Well,
honestly, I think. Oh,
go ahead. You got it.
I'll just start it off and let Todd finish. But honestly, it's not about fire damaged properties. I mean, it's about the numbers. So, I done sold plenty fire damaged properties because the numbers works. So a lot of times in this fire damage, you just get a more discounted property. It's nothing but renovations. You may have to, really gut it out and just build up, but that's what we do anyway. So focus on the numbers. Don't focus on that it has fire damage or something like that. Do the numbers make sense and sell the numbers?
Ty, you were going to say something?
Yeah, it's it just boils down to the numbers. Just like with anything, you have some investors that don't like to take on any quote unquote major rehab, which that's subjective or whatever. But you have some, if the numbers work, they don't care if it's fire damaged or not or whatever. It's still, it still has to be enough there once you do the repairs, ARV, for it to make sense for them. So yeah, it just now it can be a little tricky figuring out what it's going to cost to renovate just from an eyeball test or whatever. If you talking about just smoke damage, then that's probably going to be a total gut job. You just probably normally do $40-$50 a square foot and roll with it. As for its cost, and if those numbers work, you put it out there. But now you're talking about it's burnt through the roof, the kitchen burnt off, now you're talking about a possible tear down or something. So that's another ball game. So it just depends on how bad the fire damage is. So
okay. Now Vito Live on Instagram was asking, and I know on Instagram you can't ever see like the posts that or the banners that go across the screen. He was asking, how do I get in touch with FK Funding Financials? I can't spell her name. Okay, so I'm doing in the chat there. I made a post. Just look at my name, Adria Vito. But yeah, let's tell the people how they can get in touch with you or a representative from your company, and what services your company provides that could, as we always like to say, step up their wholesaling game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's a good one. So thank you for asking that question. So what we do, I mean, of course, each and every Thursday we teach you how to buy and sell real estate with absolutely no money or little to any money. But as we all know, to get to the next level, you have to put some type of skin in the game and money in the game. Or if you just want to leverage your credit so you can put more emphasis in your wholesale business, your marketing campaigns, and things of that nature, we have creative financing options, help you leverage your credit. We are also a direct private lender for residential and commercial funding. We have acquisition, rehabs, new construction, 30-year long-term rental. So for you all that wants to build residual income and get and build rental portfolios, we have true 30-year notes like a mortgage, but it's for investors. We are an asset base, so you don't need tax returns, bank statements, income verification, or pay stubs, and you can still qualify for to purchase and rehab your real estate. So we have a lot of different financing and creative options. You just go to findmynextdeal.com, or you could email me at funding@fkfinancials, or you can connect with me via Facebook, Instagram.
All right, there you have it, guys, and it is on your screen. And if you missed it, this is 51 minutes into the video today. You can come back and watch it on YouTube or wherever platform that you're using it, and it's there. But fundmynextdeal.com. So Laquita had a question about driving for dollars, and I'm going to tie it into another question that was posted. The first question was, when I'm out driving for dollars, what am I looking for? And then Laquita Houston's question is, while out driving for dollars, I came across more than one property that didn't have an address on them. So I think there's an app we can talk about that'll help you with that. And then how do I go about finding the owners? Again, that app would help you with that. So when we're driving for dollars, first question, what are we looking for?
I would say this, and I'll let Todd kind of pick it back on that. To really, you're looking for vacant properties. Vacant properties has a look. They usually, maybe the grass not cut, there's no blinds on the windows, things are boarded up, things of that nature. Vacant property have a look. So you're looking for vacant properties. So those are considered low-hanging fruits. And the reason being is because no one lives there, but someone owns it, and they have upkeep, maintenance, and things of that nature. So they're like low-hanging fruits. You want to write that address down. Then you go to the property records to figure out who owns the property and who can you contact, skip trace the homeowner, or you can mail them a postcard asking them if they want to sell their property.
Okay, there you have it. Now, in regards to when you're driving for dollars and you don't see a property address, so the mailbox doesn't have any numbers on it, the house doesn't. How do you go about that? What's the app that you suggest? Is it still Landglide? Is still good for that?
What, when you're looking for properties?
Yeah, when you're just driving.
Yeah. I love Landglide.
Yeah, Landglide would be a good option. Is that free or no?
No.
Landglide.
I think it's like $9.95 a month. Don't quote me on this. $9.95 a month. I think you pay a one-time yearly rate of like $99, but it's so worth it.
Okay.
It's so worth it.
You just pull up outside and it tells you where you are. But you can kind of do that. Google kind of.
HomeSnap. I was just thinking about that. HomeSnap is also an app, and it's free. So you're in front of a house. You'll take a picture inside the app, and then all the information will pop up.
Okay, that's what's up.
HomeSnap.
There you go. There's a free option. Good information. So you just pull up in front of the house. It tells you everything you need to know that is available. I know some of those apps are only as good as the information at your county assessors. Your county assessor's office and what's available online. So don't expect 100%, but I'm willing to say most well-populated areas probably get
HomeSnap.
So I know we talk about little to no cash, no credit. is a way you can get started in this wholesaling business, which is absolutely true. We've seen it done over and over and over again, with people using $10 earnest money to seal the deal on contracts. But I still continuously get the questions, how much money do I need to start? So maybe we're talking from the aspect of advertising, the marketing aspect. So
yeah,
how much money do you need?
just for people to understand, and I say, I thought you said you didn't need no money. I mean,
What I said
was the transaction with a seller and a cash buyer. No, you do not need any money. Well, you say you had to put up $10. Well, you have to really say, okay. So, okay. So,
I mean, we can't expect to make hundreds of thousands of dollars out putting up anything. We can't expect to make hundreds of thousands of dollars out putting up anything. You know? I mean, you still got to put your time up, and that's valuable in itself.
Yeah, so that's what it's referring to, and people, some people, let me get my gator. I ain't one of them, but
yeah,
people, they never spend any money to find leads. It takes her to do that because you are doing a lot of cold calling to do that. It can be done. It's done every day or whatever. So yeah, that's real.
I do it a lot by co-host them.
Yeah.
Let somebody else find the deals, and I just connect the buyer.
A lot of people do also, just networking with other investors. Let them find the deals. You know how to go out there. You got buyers that you can shop your deals to. Boom, there it is. That's no money, literally no money down. You have to put up your earnest money. You hadn't did any money on marketing. That's it. So yeah, that's real. But there's other options, just spending a few $100s to generate leads. And even though with co-wholesaling, you're gonna make money, but you can keep all of it. It's an option to keep all of it. Now I'm gonna always side on what's half a zero. You know what I'm saying? Some money better than no money or whatever. So that's what we're referring to. But again, you got some gators out here. They just sit down and just pound out calls every day, right? If you do that, that doesn't cost you anything. You know what I'm saying? So even if you have to use this free searches, True People search, and all these different services or whatever, the numbers won't be as accurate, but you'll have enough to work with or whatever. So yes, that's what that means.
And I'll also say, if you're doing this thinking that, okay, I'm about to really go out here and really be successful and not put any money in, I think you're thinking about it all wrong anyway. Of course, we want to get out here and buy and sell real estate with absolutely no money, but look at it as a business. Every now and then there's an expense or two, and be able to, invest back into your business or utilize all the free services, but don't be afraid to invest back into yourself if you need to. It's,
All right. CO 113, go to Ask Flipman across any of those social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and just message him directly or email him at
what do you want to know?
Course.
What, the course?
Yes.
Oh no, you can call me on that.
Oh.
There it is. Boom.
Or call me.
You got to spend some money. You ain't got to be going around the world. There's a phone down there. This is right here.
Right.
I'm going by mine now. I get away a lot of free stuff, but as you can tell, I like eating also. Do deal. I do make money from this. I don't hide that. Don't hide that.
Oh, okay.
Don't hide that or whatever.
The
but
numbers on the
it is free. So, but there it is. You ain't got to worry about it.
Absolutely.
Right there. Yeah.
Speaking of money, Ian Teddy Bear says, "Hey Flip, me and my wife have done 10 deals watching your videos."
Oh, sounds like they owe me some money.
What?
Hey, what my bread is?
They said,
I think so too.
Mindset. Yes, deals can change your lives and your mindset. About working, how you think about, wealth. How do you think about, entrepreneurship?
It's mental.
Yeah.
It's all mental.
Yeah. And what I've learned, and I said this, I think a couple of weeks ago, it's a learning process as well. The question earlier was they want to know what my business is and can they find me? But you have to learn at the same time that there are a lot of people who own businesses that don't know how to run a business.
Absolutely.
So
90%
part of this change that they're learning. You have a lot of people out there that are entrepreneurs but can't run a business at all. Oh, we
absolutely
we sell shoes, we sell shirts on the curb, we make teas, you know, we sell
hustlers.
Hustlers.
Yeah, hustlers.
Owners. That technically ain't a business because if you're not running it overhead, keeping your stock, you know, no, it's a business per se, but once you get to a certain point of 10 deals, you got to change your mindset. You're doing this. This is a business. This ain't a hustle anymore.
Right. A lot of people out there hustling. You can hustle up 250 and 6 figures easy.
Yeah.
You know. But my thing is we got to learn our lanes. Everyone lane is not running their business. You need to find someone who know how to be organized and help you run your business. Your lane could be the hustle. Your lane could be paving the street and the creativity of creating those t-shirts or whatever it is. Find your lane and execute it. And if it's not your lane, hire someone else that can help you in that lane. And that's how to me you go farther by doing what you're great at and connecting with other people who do what they're great at. So
okay. Black Bundy on 23. How can I wholesale a land property from a seller that is worth more than $1 million? Depending on your area, your property values are going to differ. The process is still the same. We just mentioned just moments ago about that $10 earnest money deposit. Now, realistically speaking, you're not going to go flip $1 million property and give them $10. No, but the process is still the same. It doesn't matter whether it's a $20,000 property or a $1.5 million property. The numbers have to make sense. You secure the contract, you find a buyer.
Yeah, but so a lot of people, and
it frightens them.
No, that one about. I was gonna say, like you said, the $10.
Yeah.
Yo,
they'll try.
So what?
First of all,
I guess I don't. I guess I take for granted that I do this, but I like to think if someone presented this to me, okay, they say put $10 down on a $60,000 property. Okay, I might get away with that. But $1 million,
right?
I think just knowing me, that ain't gonna look that's not gonna be acceptable.
So you really want to go and tell this man, here go $10.
Trust me, people on that level, they're a little bit more savvy.
Just ain't gonna
not gonna take $10.
So you have to spell it out. That no, the $10 thing, it is real. Because I've done a lot of deals that way, but you have to sort of feel a person out. Some people, 100 just make gonna look better to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they make a $10,000 property or whatever. You sort of have to feel that individual out to see if that's going to be okay. Now, a lot of times I'm sending contracts over. I'm emailing them through DocuSign anyway. I put 100 on there. Again, I'm feeling the person out. Some people that ain't gonna work or whatever. And I can't put that out there because there are people that do it or whatever. But you just have to feel the person out. And once you get into it, you will see. I'll say this: a lot of times it don't matter anyway. They just want to see it on, not like it's going to exchange. Real. I don't want to put that out there. I'm just saying. A lot of times it's just never going to exchange hands. But the proper way to do it is assume that if you put that whatever amount you put in there, you got it. Let me just say that. Whatever amount you put it on the contract.
Let me write a check you can't catch.
That's what I'm saying. So if that's a deal breaker for you, I like to tell people, if you can't, it's just like a price. If they give you a price that doesn't work for you, same thing with earnest money. If they give you an earnest money amount that doesn't work for you, that can be a deal breaker. It's just like price. So, now you can do this. You can put add some verbiage to the contract and say, I'm going to put up X amount of earnest money deposit after the due diligence period. Some won't. I mean, most won't, but enough will. Some will accept that. Again, some people just read, they don't even think about it. So,
All right, Doral, you've said, please answer my question. And I thought maybe we did, but need a mentor ASAP, trying to do the mobile home investment. Can I get a mentor? So a lot of you want mentors. Okay. You don't want to pay for the course. You don't want to pay someone for a course.
Man.
That's fine. But you have all the videos there. But if you still, I guess, want someone, you're going to have to go to the groups. You're going to have to go to the Facebook groups to find someone local for you. How else would they go about finding a mentor?
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna pay for it or connect with other people who's doing what you do. I always say, if you can't really pay for a mentor, try to plug yourself in on a deal with a mentor, because a mentor would teach you along the way if they can make some money. So that could be an easy way, but don't overcomplicate this mobile home thing. It's not that serious. It's almost the same process as doing a single family. Don't overcomplicate it. It's just a little bit different as far as how you close it and how you exchange the deed, I guess, but it's the same process. It's the same process.
And with the mentor thing, offer them something of value. You just showing up, say, hey, I want you to help me. Man, time is precious. Or whatever.
Totally.
Give them something of value. They may need, I don't know what type of mentor you're targeting. Say if it is in the mobile home business, say what can I do to offer you a benefit, free of charge, obviously. I want to learn this business. Can I don't know, can I make phone calls for you? Can I go out and scout properties? Can I go, just whatever. You got to bring something of value to that person, but just saying, hey, just for them doing out the kindness of their heart. That would occasionally happen, but you have a better chance of probably winning the Georgia lottery too, or whatever.
So you get what you pay for.
Something to that individual want to help you. There's tons of people that's going to approach them, wanting them to just give out their time and information or whatever for free. You got to bring something to the table. You got to keep that in mind or whatever.
Right. And it's not that people don't want to. It's just people just don't have time. Yeah, everyone out here running businesses and has a full-time life.
Exactly. See, you have people kind enough to do it, but they've done it so much probably in the past, right?
Right.
And people have wasted their time. Well, you say, I'm not going to waste their time. Well, he don't know that. Something could happen in your life where, like, I'll just use myself as an example. I ain't all that or whatever, but people come and they say, well, it'll make sense if instead of you charging this amount to coach me, why not just take it out the first deal? You're right. That sounds good.
That sounds good. We never even get to that deal.
But what happens if something in your life happens where you can't do this no more? Oh, ain't nothing gonna happen. Wait a minute. With me, forget real estate. We need to be in a different business. Because you can never, we'll be big in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So now you can predict the future. Forget real estate. We need to be in a different business. So the point is, somehow how I get paid. Oh, I think about that. That's right. I thought about it for you. so it just. But no excuses on dealing with me. I don't know about these other jokers, but I give it all away. I can't do both. You know what I'm saying? I give all the information away. I lend a lot of my time or whatever. I'm just talking about this mentor thing, man. You just can't show up and ask people. Well, you can do it. You never know. You might just catch somebody on the right day. Hey, offers are free. I'll go back to that. I saw the flip-flop in here, but offers are free. I'm just telling you, the mindset of people probably want to know that they know what you want to know. You need to go to them, offering them something where it's worth their while to work with.
Right. And get in the game. The easiest way to learn is to get in the game. So just get in the game, and then it's easier to call someone and say, and have a quick question. But when you need someone to put a whole deal together, that's a different level. But if you got a deal and you just need a quick question and trying to figure out how to position yourself, that could be an easy text message. So get in the game. Just get in the game.
Well, just curious, do you have a course or anything on mobile homes?
No.
Okay.
It's really not my thing. I've dealt in a couple of them. I don't know. It seems like I'm in the messages getting that a lot. Somebody got a course or something out there they promote, they ain't get them.
I don't know.
Just getting that a lot. You know what I'm saying? There's opportunities there, but it's just a different animal or whatever. You got to take in consideration they are depreciating assets. Not
You
like
talking about the mobile home?
Yeah, they're
the mobile home. Yeah, I think it's someone doing some interviews out there with the mobile home. They got all these people interested in doing these mobile homes now.
Okay, well,
yeah, I've been seeing some interviews and stuff out there with these mobile homes.
Okay,
well, yeah, I'm just letting you know. Yeah,
but I'm with you guys. A depreciating asset. You know, it's
gotta be
it'll
more.
be a lot easier to find your house.
You know what I'm saying? To have it moved is $7,000-$10,000. That eats into some.
Then you need to plot a land.
Yeah. It's a different ball game, man. It's different. Now, only thing I can see where a contract would matter, and I haven't done this, just me thinking through it, is you make it set up some owner financing, and that does give you some type of ownership to keep the seller and the buyer away, because if you let them connect, they don't need you. This is not selling a house. They have to go through a closing process. They don't need you no more, right? They can literally strike that agreement in 5 minutes, because it's just like selling an automobile.
Right.
You have a bill of sale, sign the back of the title, it's theirs now. Same thing with mobile homes. They got the title in hand. Same thing. So that's why it's tricky to think in the sense of a wholesale transaction. You need to create some type of interest in the property or the mobile home itself, where now they have to go through you. And the only thing I can think of, unless you just got a buyer you really trust or whatever, is you got to set up some type of terms with the seller. Now that person has to go through you. That's the only thing I can see or whatever. So I don't know. Don't take that with a grain of salt or whatever. So
yeah. I mean, the mobile homes, I mean, you need land. I'm just curious with a person that just asked that. Do you all have land to put the mobile home on? You know, and just making sure that you have all of those things in place. And the wear and tear that comes with these mobile homes. Because a lot of them are old. You know, I mean, they're old. So it's wear and tear with it.
And the only way I know how to get value, it may be a book or some online service out there to get a value of them, is that you're going to have to get the year it's built, the manufacturer, the size of it, right? And you can call around to local mobile home dealers that sell mobile homes and see if they buy used mobile homes, right? And see if, and then they say, well, I pay such and such on that or whatever. Obviously, you don't want to tell them where it is. And you maybe get 3 or 4 opinions, then maybe you have a value. So now you can go back to the seller. If you know you can get 30,000 for, well, if you get 15,000 for it, then it's, hey, I need to get it at 5, or maybe probably cheaper than that, because they take in consider, well, they'll probably give you that number based on them having to move it or whatever. Because that's going to cost them anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000, maybe even more, depending on how far it goes, how many, is it double wide, is it a triple, or is it a quad, or whatever. All of that'll factor in. So, we spent too much time. What's the next question?
So I guess to answer your question, where it was coming from. So I'm seeing is mobile home elite.
Well, they got to flip them.
Yeah, the mobile home elite guy. I've been seeing that. And then that's your mentor right there. I mean, one thing about it, and one thing I see about that group of individual that's doing that, that's what their specialty is. That's what they focus in on. They focus in on building their mobile home portfolio. So if that's your focus, and you have an area that supports it, don't overcomplicate it. It's just like a car.
Okay. So talking about virtually wholesaling, Salvatore has a deal in another state, but he doesn't know anyone across the country. So he wants to know how he can find a cash buyer.
Couch.
I know, couch. And then Clay's question was, I'm thinking of the virtual aspect of real estate. How would you guys go about finding a good market to do real estate in without actually living in that area? So Just a moment on virtual wholesaling. So I got a deal, but I don't have a buyer over there. How am I supposed to find one? And then I want to do virtual wholesaling, but I just want to throw a dart at the map and just say that place. So how do I find a good place? Can't do that.
Honestly, when it comes to virtual wholesaling, it's good if you can really do it. But the focus is you have to weigh heavily on your team. So it's not, maybe you just find the markets that is hot. There's a lot of markets around these states that is very, very hot. You just find a market and you build your team, because you're going to rely heavily on, boots on the ground in order to really be successful in virtual wholesaling. But however, there is a lot of success in virtual wholesaling, but you got to rely very heavily on getting your team in place. And part of getting your team in place is having those buyers in those areas.
Okay. And in regards to Salvatore, who has a deal already.
Yeah, he did too. Go ahead.
And he needs a buyer. So any suggestions for him?
Well, what's the numbers? What are the numbers?
Okay. Salvatore, if you're available, can you answer that? What are the numbers?
And is it in a different place than where he lives?
Yes, it is. It says it's across the country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious.
I would honestly say is to connect with other wholesalers in the area as quick as you possibly can.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Salvatore, I see you just posted, but you didn't post in regards to the numbers on your deal. If you could do that. What's this little drop right here? Where does that come from?
What?
Little, I don't know what that.
What is it?
Yes, is I meditate, and it says I see the comments here. I don't know what that. What social media thing?
Oh, that's Periscope. That's a Periscope.
Oh, dude, I have to tell you, that's the first time I've seen Periscope on here.
They just started letting you do it.
To comment?
Yeah.
I meditate. Yes, I see your comment jumping in from
Periscope.
Yeah,
please ask their questions. That'll be the first Periscoper.
I don't even know what that means. Okay, so the ARV, this is from Salvatore, is $260, and the seller wants $135.
$260.
Yes.
$260. Well, how much is the repairs?
Okay, repairs, Salvatore.
Seller wants $135.
Yes. Got the banner up.
How much is the repairs?
Take your banner down.
Thank you, they're nuts. You normally don't tell me.
I'm just saying. Okay. Come on, Salvatore. You was responding really fast. Repairs. Okay, guys. So this calculator that you see on your screen is at dealulator.com. If you're not able to see the screen, go to that website. It's dealulator.com, aka
DEALULATOR.
Okay, yeah.
Play on the word calculator.
Got it.
Remove the CALC and add DEAL. Later.
We got it. And we have, he said maybe 50, 60. So we're going to go 60.
Gonna go 60.
Mm.
Boom.
So 122 is the cash buyer price. I need to change it. I don't like that mail. The cash buyer's price. And if you want to make 10 grand, you can play with the numbers here. We'll say 110, 112, 110.
Is what you need to have the numbers.
And what you can get it for?
135.
Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna start preaching this because I'm starting doing this myself.
Okay.
I just watched this other guy before I got going here tonight. Brilliant. And I sort of done a little bit of it. And I ain't want to fool with it because I ain't want to follow deals. I ain't want to do deals, but I'm getting old. I should have 100 houses easy. Easy.
Easy. Hey, that's the next phase. That's that next phase.
Yeah. So if they don't, the 135 may not work or may work. I don't know, but sounds like it's a little close or whatever based on the numbers here. What we said 122. So that's sort of close or whatever. But your other option there, depending if it's livable or close to it, doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter with that much equity. Is that you want to offer them some owner financing, right?
Right.
And ideally is what you'll do is you may want to offer them 5% down. You won't try to get down with nothing, but offer them 5% down, right? So that's let me see here. 5% of 135 is 6,750. Okay. And you want to do that over 30 years. So 135 minus 6,750. What I said, 135,000 minus 6,750 equals 128,250 divided by 30 is divided by 360. My bad. That's 360 months. For those that don't know what that means, that's what 30 years is, 360 months. Right? That'll leave a payment of $356.25. And they might not go for that low, but that's what you're gonna throw out there. You can negotiate up from that. So basically $350 a month to them. Now, what you would turn around and do, you say, well, I ain't got no $6,750. What you would do is you would wholesale those terms to an investor or a family, right? Okay, so now you may want 15,000 down, and you get the difference between the 6,750 and 55 and 15,000, which is $8,250, and they get and then you assign the deal over to them.
Okay, and now they're responsible for it.
Now you want to set that up with zero interest. Say, well, I don't want to do zero interest. So what you do is, instead of saying 3%, 4, 5, 6, whatever the number is, say, well, what if instead of you getting 135, let's do it for 165. That's still better than 3% interest. 3% interest, you're talking about closer to over $200,000 in interest, right? I mean, with total payment, with interest and principal or whatever. So that's a cash flow opportunity for an investor, because I don't know, maybe we'll just say that neighborhood may produce anywhere from $1,000 to $1,200 a month rent. Now you're talking about cash flow between $600 and $800 a month, So just another option to throw out there two sellers that may not want. Now I'm assuming they don't owe anything on. That's a little different, but that may not want the price that they give you doesn't work or whatever. Matter of fact, just before this started, because I said I'm gonna have to start doing this. Started with forced into it. The deal we did Monday, because the dude want to own a finance. He gonna put a chunk down. So I said I'm gonna start doing this and just forget about it or whatever. But I'm not gonna go in a management position. I'm gonna give them ownership. So that takes out me being the landlord with plumbing and all this kind of stuff. Is Renika muted?
No.
Renika, you muted?
I don't hear. I guess so.
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry.
I had a little side situation.
But I know. I'm sorry. Anyway. But I'm just saying that's just another item. So I'm gonna start talking about that a lot more or whatever.
Is this owner financing option?
Yeah, that's owner finance. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can either keep the property yourself if you got that down payment, which you can sometimes negotiate it with no down payment, depending on how motivated they are or whatever. So yeah, I'm starting talking a lot more. I'm just telling you. So
okay, there you have it. Something for you guys to look forward to. Owner financing. Renika often says, what's your end game? What's the end game on the property? And a lot of the numbers just don't work out, but it will be good.
You'll have a lot of opportunities.
You have a lot more opportunities now. Like, it's livable. Somebody, especially if you find somebody that's handy dandy, that's like, hey, just let me live here. I do all the work myself. Oh, okay, fine, no worries. Go move in. And now is a good time. Y'all sleeping on it. Like owner financing, if you have those deals don't work, it's tax time. People gonna have a couple.
They're gonna have some chunks. They're gonna have some
chunks on them.
Hey, oh yeah, 7,000 to 10,000 just walking around like it ain't nothing. But you better get them before they go to Walmart or Foot Locker.
It's already spinning in mine.
It's just so ironic. Them Jordans come around in the spring.
They come out every month.
But and most importantly, when you do that owner financing situation, work with your tenant who's doing the owner. I mean, who you are doing the lease option or you're signing those terms to. Work with them and paying that off, because a lot of times they get themselves in a situation because they really can't afford to go and get a real mortgage. So, and sometimes when you write up those owner financing, it balloons in 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, and you got to be able to pay that off. So if you're going to assign that and you're waiting on your tenant to be able to buy it, make sure you're working with them. Making sure they're working with their credit and getting their finances in order to be able to pay that off as well.
That would be interesting if you had like some type of management company that also had like a credit repair attached to it.
Well, that's normally what people follow the deal do. That's what they normally do.
Yeah, like I require that you attend these classes and show that you're making strides to fix your credit. Like I can see every month some 1, 2, 3 little points going up on your little.
And I know some people that do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, their whole thing is built around.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. So guys, we have been on for 1 hour, 25 minutes and 51 seconds. So you have most definitely gotten your money. No, it's free. Yeah, I can't even say. You've got good information here then. A lot of good info on wholesaling real estate. Hopefully we've answered several of your questions, but guess what? If your question did not get answered today, when this video posts to YouTube, you can continue answering questions. Ty continuously looks on there and tries to answer your questions or either directs you to where the answers are, whether it be via video or just google.com. But he does, put himself out there free of charge to help you put yourself in a better position. I don't think Ty has anything. Renika, you got anything to say?
It's time. Time is now.
Time is now. And I'm glad you said that, because the only thing I wanted to say, unless you've been living under a rock, you've seen the tragedies that have been in the news lately. And if that does not tell you that time waits for no man, woman, child, child, as they say, time is now. Don't wait. Tomorrow is not promised. Never has been, never will be. Your time is the most valuable asset that you have. So continuously educate yourself continuously if this is what you want to do. And if it's not, just find something, but use your time wisely. Ty, I asked you anyway, you got anything? Nope, he's done. So without further ado, we'll see you next Thursday at 6:30.
Flip man, it's the flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.
Oh, I don't know how you do it. I'm kind of